The discussion surrounding the Springboks and the All Blacks often becomes dominated by recent scorelines, and that is understandable given the extraordinary form South Africa have produced. 11 consecutive Test victories, more than 130 points scored against England, Scotland, and Wales, and the confidence that comes from sitting at the top of the world rankings naturally make Rassie Erasmus men the favorites heading into this historic rivalry. But international rugby has repeatedly shown that favorites do not always become winners, especially when the opponent wears the black jersey. The All Blacks have built their reputation over more than a century by responding when the pressure is at its highest, and this series offers another opportunity for Dave Rennie's side to prove that they remain one of the most dangerous teams in world rugby. While South Africa possess greater continuity, a settled coaching structure, and remarkable squad depth, New Zealand arrive with something equally valuable: fresh motivation. The painful defeat in Wellington last year has become a driving force behind this group, and every player understands that these 4 tests present the chance to restore pride while beginning a new era under Rennie. Another factor that could make the series far tighter than many supporters expect is the tactical battle between the two coaching staffs. Rassie Erasmus has earned a reputation for staying several steps ahead of his opponents, constantly introducing innovative tactics, creative substitutions, and unexpected selection decisions. His famous bench strategy has transformed the final quarter of Test matches into one of the Springboks' greatest weapons, with fresh forwards regularly overwhelming tiring opponents. However, Dave Rennie is also one of the game's most respected tactical thinkers. During his previous coaching roles, he repeatedly demonstrated an ability to adapt game plans to exploit opposition weaknesses rather than relying on a single style of rugby. That flexibility has already been visible in victories over France, Italy, and Ireland, where the All Blacks adjusted their approach depending on the challenge in front of them. Against the Springboks, that adaptability will be tested more than ever, because few teams in world rugby demand greater physical accuracy over 80 minutes. Discipline could also become one of the defining themes of the entire rivalry. Modern Test rugby is decided by tiny margins, and the difference between victory and defeat often comes down to which team spends fewer minutes playing with 14 men or gifting easy penalties. The Springboks learned valuable lessons from previous encounters, ensuring that emotional intensity is matched by composure, while the All Blacks know they cannot afford unnecessary mistakes against a side that punishes every error through territorial pressure and clinical finishing. The battle at the breakdown, the contest under the high ball, and the scrum penalties may not dominate social media highlights, but they could easily decide each Test match. Every turnover won by Siya Kolisi, every dominant tackle from Eben Etzebeth, every tactical kick from Handre Pollard, and every attacking counter launched by Will Jordan or Damian McKenzie may swing momentum at crucial moments. Home advantage certainly appears to favor the Springboks, but history suggests that the All Blacks have never been intimidated by traveling to South Africa. Some of rugby's greatest Test matches have taken place on South African soil, with New Zealand repeatedly finding ways to silence passionate home crowds. Likewise, the Springboks have produced memorable victories in New Zealand over the years, proving that this rivalry rarely follows conventional expectations. That shared history is precisely why predictions become so difficult. Rankings, recent form, and statistics provide useful context, but once the opening whistle blows, both teams understand that reputation alone means very little. There is also the psychological dimension. The Springboks carry the confidence of champions, knowing they have consistently delivered under Rassie Erasmus, while the All Blacks arrive carrying the determination of a proud rugby nation eager to respond after one of the most disappointing periods in its modern history. For experienced leaders such as Siya Kolisi, Eben Etzebeth, Handre Pollard, Ardie Savea, Beauden Barrett, and Will Jordan, these are exactly the occasions that define careers. Every player recognizes that outstanding performances in this rivalry are remembered for decades. Ultimately, the biggest reason this contest is far closer than many people believe is simple. Both squads possess world-class quality across almost every position. The Springboks may have greater depth and continuity, while the All Blacks may still be adapting to a new coaching era, but neither side lacks the talent required to win the series. If South Africa dominate the collisions, control territory, and unleash their famous bench, they will justify their status as favorites. But if New Zealand successfully move the point of attack, create space for their dangerous backline and match the Springboks physically, the balance of the rivalry could shift far more quickly than expected. That is why rugby supporters around the world are counting down the days until kickoff. This is not simply another international series. It is a meeting between two giants of the sport, two rugby cultures built on excellence and relentless competitiveness. Whether the Springboks extend their remarkable winning run or the All Blacks announce the beginning of a new chapter under Dave Rennie, one thing is certain. Rugby's greatest rivalry is alive and well, and the next 4 tests promise to deliver drama, intensity, and unforgettable moments worthy of its legendary history. As the series draws closer, attention will inevitably shift from predicted lineups and tactical discussions to the individual battles that could decide each test. Few rivalries in world rugby produce as many fascinating head-to-head contests as the Springboks versus the All Blacks, and this year promises to be no different. In the front row, the power of Thomas du Toit, Wilco Louw, and Bowen Venter will be measured against a determined New Zealand scrum that is eager to prove it can stand up to the most feared pack in international rugby. The absence of players like Tamati Williams undoubtedly hurts the visitors, but the All Blacks have built their reputation on developing world-class replacements, and this series presents another opportunity for fresh faces to make their mark. For South Africa, maintaining dominance at scrum time will be essential because it provides the platform from which Rassie Erasmus wants his team to control territory and apply relentless pressure. If the Springboks consistently earn penalties and force the All Blacks backwards, the momentum of each match could quickly swing in the home side's favor. Equally important will be the battle in the second row, where experience and physicality collide. Eben Etzebeth remains the heartbeat of the Springboks forward pack, setting standards with his relentless work rate, physical tackles, and uncompromising attitude. Alongside him, Paul de Villiers brings intelligence at the lineout and invaluable experience from years of competing against New Zealand. However, the All Blacks have always prided themselves on producing athletic locks capable of matching any opponent, and despite injuries affecting their preparations, they will look to challenge the Springboks at every line-out and restart. Winning possession in these contests is about more than statistics. It determines field position, attacking opportunities, and ultimately scoreboard pressure. One stolen line-out or one perfectly executed driving maul can completely change the momentum of a test match. Perhaps the most fascinating contest will unfold in the backline, where creativity meets control. Handre Pollard, Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu, and Manie Libbok offer Rassie Erasmus 3 very different options at fly half. Pollard provides calm leadership, tactical kicking, and unmatched experience in high-pressure matches. Feinberg-Mngomezulu brings attacking flair, confidence, and unpredictability, while Libbok remains capable of unlocking defensive systems with his vision and passing range. On the other side, Ruben has been trusted by Dave Rennie despite his limited test experience, with Damian McKenzie providing support from fullback and the experienced Beauden Barrett waiting for his opportunity. The possible return of Richie and Mo'unga later in the series only adds another fascinating dimension. Few players understand the pressure of facing the Springboks better than Mo'unga, and if he is called into the squad after regaining eligibility, his experience could dramatically strengthen the All Blacks during the latter stages of the rivalry. The wings also promise fireworks. Cheslin Kolbe, Kurt-Lee Arendse, and Canan Moodie possess the pace and finishing ability to punish even the smallest defensive lapse, while the All Blacks continue to rely on the brilliance of Will Jordan and the attacking instincts of Damian McKenzie to create scoring opportunities from almost anywhere on the field. These players thrive in open spaces, meaning whichever side controls territory and limits turnover ball will significantly reduce the danger posed by opposition counterattacks. Every tactical kick, every chase, and every defensive decision will carry enormous importance, because one moment of brilliance from a world-class finisher can decide a championship-level contest.